let me tell you something. I recently went to go get eggs. All right. I usually like eggs only from one place. They're called like Vital Farms. You guys probably know about them. They have that like black egg carton with the brown eggs. You've probably seen them in your store. They're from a farm down in Austin, and they're the only people on like normal store shelves whose eggs I want to buy, mostly because they're not like torture eggs. The chickens are treated relatively well compared to like everything else that could be possibly going on in the food industry, and so I like to buy from them mostly. Okay.
This meme is very real.
I was going shopping around closing time. It was like it was pretty late. It was about to tick over to the next day. Okay, I'll tell you that much. But I was just walking around the store, bobbing and weaving through Walmart employees as they're doing their like nightly stocking gig. And then I'm back at the like, you know, milk and cheese and whatever section back there at the back of the store near the deli, and golly gee, there was nobody, absolutely nobody, not a soul in sight. And I thought this was fantastic, and I kept rounding the corner, and I was like, wow, there really is nobody here. I can spend as much time as I want just shopping, until my eyes glanced over, okay, to the egg section. And standing right there near the egg section was a couple. I was like, okay, that's fine. They had like an empty cart. They were just looking at eggs. Seemed fine, whatever. I roll up, and little did I know, I was not in the presence of a normal couple. No, not at all, not in the slightest, okay? I was in the presence of a couple that would be my greatest enemy that I've ever experienced in a Walmart to date, period. I've never been I've never had to like be competitive in a Walmart or something, but this is the only time when I've ever had, had my back against the wall. And it was this Asian couple that was picking up eggs, okay? And when I say eggs, I don't mean a carton. I don't mean 2 cartons. Boy, I don't even mean 3 cartons. They had 4 cartons of eggs in their cart when I pulled up. And I stood there for a second. I was like, okay, she'll get a couple eggs. The entire shelf of eggs that I wanted were completely stocked. Because like a worker, I think like a worker just came around and started and finished the stocking. So all the stocking that needed to be done was done, and for those eggs. This gave me solace, but honestly, in hindsight, it was only a false sense of security, because this couple was not looking for just a couple cases of eggs, as I tried to delude myself into believing. They, as I stood there and watched her go through carton after carton after carton, a thought started to creep into my head. It started to dawn on me that this lady is not looking for just some more eggs. She's looking for all the eggs. She's taking every carton of eggs. She by the time she reached past the halfway point of taking all of the eggs, that's when I realized that I could not stand around any longer. I needed to get my hands dirty and fight for the eggs, because if I didn't, I would just stand here and watch my hopes, my dreams, my future be taken from me by the hands of this couple I've never seen before in my life. And so I had to do something. I had to take my destiny into my own hands, because if I didn't, I could see my future slipping away from me like sands through my fingers. And so what I had to do is I stepped in. I was like, excuse me. All right. And she was like, oh. And then I caught her red-handed. I caught her in the act, and she stepped back for a moment. Okay. And I was like, oh, she's going to give me the time to pick a carton of eggs. No. She didn't. I was right. She did step back for a moment, but only a moment. Because the second I started, she noticed that I wasn't going for the bacon right next to there, and I was going for a carton of eggs. Her ass was back. Okay, she was like, the eggs were stacked like 3 cartons high. She was pulling 3 stacks at a time to be able to catch a hold of them, and like capture them from me, so she could check all of them to see if any of them have any broken eggs, and then she would set the broken ones to the side. I was now in a race with this lady to find 1 carton of eggs without a broken egg in it, so I can take it home and put in my cart before like she takes all of them. And so I'm fighting for my life out here. And then boom, okay. First egg carton I open. I check the eggs. First 2, great. Second 2, great. They go back, and back, and I was like, I was so happy. I was like, oh my gosh, I found it. First pull of the eggs. I get a perfectly uncracked pack, but little did I know that my greatest moment of triumph was simply before my greatest fall. And just as that moment, as I checked the last egg, it was broken and dripping into the container. And so I could not take that one, as she got a full stack of fully perfectly uncracked 3 cartons of eggs and dropped them in her cart. Before she reached back to take the next 3, I had to reach in. I couldn't waste any more time. I reached in and just grabbed the first top one and bet it all. I bet it all. Okay, this is the last column of eggs. I bet it all and just grabbed the top one. And then I looked inside, checked, first 2, good. Second 2, good. Third 2, good. Fourth 2, good. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a perfectly fine pack of eggs. I sighed the biggest sigh of relief, and I smiled as I turned around and put the eggs in my cart triumphantly, and I didn't make eye contact with them again. I just pulled off and left. I couldn't keep up with it. I couldn't dare look them in the eye, cause I know that they were like, that bitch took my fucking eggs. I know she wanted those eggs. You are insane. Mario Kart victory. I'm living for this dramatic retelling. This is not a dramatic retelling. This is actually what happened. That's the craziest thing about it. I wonder why they're taking so many. I don't know, but it scared me. I knew there are only 2. Listen, it may just be me and in the area that I live in, but there's only 2 types of people who take that many eggs or that many like single items in their cart, okay? And it's white women, it's white suburban women, or Asian suburban women, or urban women, but not white urban women. It's suburban or urban Asian women and suburban white women who do that. And so when I saw that, I knew I was in a race for the clock. Is a shark bites vid? All right, this sounds about right. This one's gonna have to be a buzzer beater, cause she was doing it efficiently. You can tell. The reason why I knew I had to step in is because you could tell that this was not her first rodeo. Like, she's cleaned up an egg aisle numerous times on multiple occasions. I could tell she had practice. Yeah, the egg snatcher, right? Addicted to eggs. No, they did. Okay, listen, they do have the bulk eggs. Okay, the thing is, she didn't want those eggs. She wanted a specific egg, like the egg that I get, like a specific brand of eggs. She didn't want no goddamn rinky dink a large grade white ass egg from some chicken that was like strapped into the egginator until the moment it dies, and then gets blended instantly into like a wet slurry that gets formed into the mold for a chicken nugget from McDonald's. Okay, she wanted like a prime fresh egg from this one farm that I only buy eggs from, and she was buying their entire stock. She was buying their entire stock. She didn't want no mutant chicken egg. I guess not. I want to be strapped into the egginator. No, you don't, you bitch. Come here. Come here. Oh. Hi. Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there. If you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. If you don't, it'll make Boo very sad. I know a bunch of you who are watching are not subscribed. Join the frenzy. You won't regret it. Thank you, Boo.